Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Wednesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is April 25th, 2018, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with photos from the Durango Herald file, a La Plata County man charged with 115 counts of animal cruelty in connection with a massive animal seizure in November pleaded not guilty Tuesday. Jeffrey Jackson, age 48, is scheduled for a jury trial starting July 12th before La Plata County Judge Dondi Osborne. Jackson and his partner, Elizabeth Miera, who also goes by the last name Jackson, were charged after the seizure in which more than 110 animals were taken from their property in southwestern La Plata County. La Plata County Animal Protection carried out the seizure November 15, 2017, after a lengthy investigation into the mistreatment of the animals on their property. Several other agencies participated in the seizure. Animals seized included dogs, a cat, pigs, goats, sheep, horses, a burro, a duck, chickens, and cattle. Authorities haven't said where the animals were relocated, but said they are being well cared for. A previous visit revealed the property in a state of disarray with trash, metal, and other objects strewn about. Neighbors had long complained of the mess and the possible mistreatment of animals. Jackson's court-appointed attorney, John Baxter, declined to comment. Calls to Jackson and Miera were not returned. Miera, age 47, was charged with 114 counts of animal cruelty. She was hit with 2 additional charges of unlawful possession of wildlife and unlawfully transporting portions of wildlife after investigators found a poached elk on the property. Miera's next scheduled court appearance is May 15th.
From the Durango Herald, photos Jerry McBride. Firefighters doused a shed and small brush fire Tuesday afternoon that broke out in the Grandview area, said Rod Allen, battalion chief with the Durango Fire Protection District. A crew of 15 firefighters had the blaze contained and eventually controlled it, said Scott Davis, spokesman for DFPD. The fire, located across the street from Durango Wood Company, 577 County Road 233, didn't spread beyond 1/10 of an acre despite breezy conditions, and Allen attributed that to quick thinking by employees at Durango Wood Company and Horizon Environmental. Durango Wood Company used a small tractor with a bucket to fight the blaze when it was initially spotted, and Horizon Environmental used one of its trucks that can spray water and mulch to spray in front of the fire, he said. They really helped keep the fire to a small area, Allen said. The cause of the fire was undetermined Tuesday and listed as unintentional, Allen said. 2 engines, 2 tankers, 2 brush trucks, 2 officer vehicles, and a medical unit responded. No one was injured, Davis said. The cause of the fire was under investigation. Davis and Allen said that they did not know if the shed or the brush caught fire first. Allen said someone was reportedly burning in a fire pit nearby the night before, but DFPD does not know if that was a contributing factor. With recent dry, windy conditions, DFPD has advised against setting fires, and on recent red flag fire warning days, the district has canceled burn permits.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a 51-year-old man found dead at his home in Durango on April 13th, prompting a homicide investigation, has been identified as Michael Borreog. La Plata County Coroner Jan Smith said Monday that Borreog's family had been notified of his death. According to a news release, Borreog was found dead at his home on Plymouth Drive off Florida Road near Riverview Elementary School. Smith said Borreog lived alone but was found dead when his property manager went to check on him after he wasn't seen for a few days. The news release issued last week by the city of Durango said a medical examiner ruled the cause of death as a homicide. But Smith said Monday that a cause of death has not been determined pending the results of a toxicology and histology or skin tissue test, which can take a few weeks. Commander Ray Shoup, spokesman for the Durango Police Department, said Borreog's death is being investigated as a homicide based on information from an initial autopsy report. Shoup said because it takes a while for those reports, toxicology and histology, to be completed, investigators must pursue the case in the direction they suspect it will go in terms of cause of death.
From the Journal, Photos AP, dry weather will prolong the wildfire threat through summer in the southwest, even though weekend showers temporarily relieve drought conditions in parts of the area, forecasters said this past Monday. The drought is rooted in a dry spell that began in October and is considered, quote, extreme from southern California to central Kansas. Conditions are even worse in the Four Corners region and the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles, warranting their description as exceptional. In the Cortez area, National Weather Service forecasters Matt Aleska said only 1.6 inches of precipitation has fallen since January 1st. That's 2.4 inches less than the 4 inches the county normally receives by this time of year. Last year, the area accumulated 4.07 inches of precipitation by mid-April. Meteorologist intern James Fowler said Cortez also hit record high temperatures 4 times this year. Temperatures on January 1st reached 57 degrees, beating the previous record of 54 degrees, and January 10th beat the previous record of 59 with a high of 61 degrees. On January 20th and February 2nd, the temperatures were tied with the highest temperatures ever recorded on these days, 60 and 61 degrees respectively. The proverbial spigot shutoff, said Brian Fuchs, a climatologist at the National Drought Mitigation Center at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. Drought isn't necessarily a signal for wildfires, but it can exacerbate the conditions that do take place. Alexa said the short-term outlook for Montezuma County remains bleak, with lower than normal precipitation and higher than normal temperatures forecast through June. But he said some climate models predict a monsoon will carry heavy precipitation into our area starting in July. There is some hope out there, he said. A personal note, so we really need to all be thinking positively towards increasing the moisture in our area, whether that's in prayer or a rain dance. Let's all get working on this together.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with photo by Emily Rice with the Journal. 18 emaciated horses on a property north of Cortez have been seized by the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office and transported to a sanctuary for rehabilitation. On April 11th, Agriculture Deputy Dave Hunn and Gerald Garcia, a Bureau of Animal Protection agent, inspected the horses at 24058 County Road N and deemed them in poor health due to lack of nutrition, according to a Sheriff's Office incident report. The horses were found in emaciated condition, said Sheriff Steve Nowlin. They were in poor shape and were not being fed adequately. The case is still under investigation, he said, and animal neglect charges are being considered. The horses are owned by Daisy Stenzel, according to the report. Local veterinarian Dr. Sue Grab examined the horses on April 13th and agreed they were in poor body condition. A seizure warrant was then granted by District Court Judge Doug Walker, and the horses were removed April 16th. Harmony Equestrian Rescue Center in Frankton, Colorado, agreed to accept the horses, and they are now receiving the best daily care, Nowlin said. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Looking at the national weather map, a strong thunderstorm-producing system is lingering over Texas and the southern states, with rains up into the lower central plains. One or more rounds of severe weather, including tornadoes, is anticipated over the central United States next week, as warmth and humidity levels are forecast to surge over the region. More disturbances are likely through the mid-Atlantic and up in the East Coast and New England, while the West Coast remains dry and warm, still awaiting the next system to bring needed moisture into the western states. Some snow is possible over the northern Rockies, while the southwest remains dangerously dry and warm for today. Regionally, we are looking high and dry with a high pressure system holding and bringing dry and warmer than usual weather. No notable changes in the pattern for today. We are still looking towards possible rain showers Friday into Saturday. The overall report is that in the southwest, dry, often windy weather resulted in drought persistence or intensification so far this year. Arizona's rangeland and pastures were rated at 86% very poor to poor on April 15th, compared to the 5-year average of 30%. On the same date, New Mexico's rangeland and pastures were rated 50% very poor to poor, while winter wheat was rated 68 very poor to poor. New Mexico's topsoil moisture on April 15th was rated 91% very short to short. Due to deteriorating agricultural and hydrological conditions, exceptional drought, which is D4, was expanded in the Four Corners region as well as northeastern New Mexico. So once again, pray and dance for rain, people. The DCTV 5-day outlook shows today sunny with a high near 68 degrees, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming west in the afternoon. Tonight clear with a low around 38. West-northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming northeast after midnight. Thursday sunny with a high near 71, north winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Thursday night clear with a low around 40, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming southeast after midnight. Then Friday mostly sunny with a high near 71, southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour becoming south-southwest in the afternoon. Friday night is when we get a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms before 9 p.m. and then a slight chance of showers after midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 45. Chance of precipitation is just 20%. Saturday, again, a 20% chance of showers, partly sunny with a high near 71. Saturday night, a slight chance of showers before midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 44. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 68, breezy. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 40, again breezy. Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 63. Monday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 39 and again breezy. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald, many doctors recommend them, but fish oil supplements failed to help people with dry eye when put to a scientific test. About 14% of U.S. adults have dry eye, which causes pain and vision problems. It's more common in women and with age, and is related to inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids in fish oil may reduce inflammation, so doctors thought they might help more than the artificial tears, eye drops, and other treatments patients use now. A federally funded study gave 500 people daily doses of fish oil or dummy capsules. After 1 year, dry eye symptoms were similar in both groups. Results were discussed at a conference in April in Washington and published by the New England Journal of Medicine.
From the Durango Herald, in its yearly report, the American Lung Association gave La Plata County a failing grade for potentially dangerous ozone levels, likely a result of the region's emissions from the oil and gas industry and surrounding power plants. La Plata County did, however, receive an A for particle pollution, which is tiny matter from sources such as diesel exhaust, wildfire smoke, and dust that can bypass the body's natural defense system and cause harm. The report is called the State of the Air. Dolores County shows no monitoring systems available, and in Montezuma County, they received an A for ozone and incomplete information on particle pollution counts. Janice Nolan, the ALA's Assistant Vice President for National Policy, said in an interview Tuesday that the rankings were based on the average of unhealthy ozone days from 2014 to 2016, according to the Environmental Protection Agency's Health Quality Index. In La Plata County, the number of unhealthy ozone days has been steadily growing during that time frame, from 1 day in 2014, 2 days in 2015, and 7 days in 2016, which was the second hottest year on record. Looking at potential reasons for the unhealthy ozone days, Nolan said emissions from power plants and oil and gas operations, such as nitrogen oxides and methane, are usually the likely cause. La Plata County, for instance, is home to and adjacent to one of the largest coal bed methane gas fields in the country, and is also near 2 major coal power plants in New Mexico. Emissions from those sources, coupled with increasingly warmer temperatures, are the ingredients for unhealthy ozone, Nolan said. We've made a lot of improvements in the last few years, Nolan said, but we're concerned to see those steps repealed or ignored. New Mexico has different air quality standards just above the border.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with a photo from KSJD Community Radio. After serving as local host of NPR's Morning Edition on KSJD Community Radio since 2016, Austin Cope is leaving the station this June to begin work at a nonprofit in northern India. The station is now seeking a replacement morning host and reporter to produce news content and serve as the live, on-air host of the morning news program, KSJD said in a news release on Tuesday. He said we'll be taking a 2-year Shansi Fellowship, a program offered by his alma mater, Oberlin College in Ohio. He plans to spend the time in Rakhar, India, working with the Jagori Rural Charitable Trust, a nonprofit that promotes women's rights in northern India. Cope said he's enjoyed his time at KSJD, especially his outdoor report, in which he talked about nature and wildlife. One of his favorite interviews, he said, was at the 2016 Montezuma County Fair, where he interviewed a young girl about how to bathe a chicken. But he said the opportunity for the fellowship was too good to miss. He said he hopes his replacement will be someone who really cares about the Southwest.
From the Mancos Journal section, photo credit Sam Green. With a recently awarded Arts in Society grant, the Mancos Creative District plans to spend this summer sparking conversation between Montezuma County's diverse communities. Each year, Redline Contemporary Arts Center in Denver administers a grant program designed to fund art projects that deal with social issues. On April 19th, the Creative District became one of 22 organizations and artists across the state to receive the grant, which is partly funded by its governing body, Colorado Creative Industries. The grant includes $36,000 to fund a lengthy multimedia project called We All Belong, which will highlight immigration issues and the diversity of life experiences in Montezuma County. Christine Costello, the program manager for Creative Industries, said the Arts in Society grant is available to any nonprofit in the state as well as individual artists. The panel that reviews applications for the grant looks for projects that involve partnerships with a variety of artists and engage with issues beyond those normally associated with the arts. We All Belong will include a Raven Narratives storytelling event, a documentary, and a sculpture project, Creative District Board member Raina Wilson said. Each section of the project will aim to highlight the diversity of the Mancos area. There are all kinds of people here who we want to bring to the forefront, Wilson said. The Raven Narratives event, scheduled for October 19th and 20th, will feature stories from local immigrants, Native Americans, ranchers, and others who make up the Mancos population, all on the theme of belonging. The event will close out Raven Narratives' 2018 season with performances at the Sunflower Theater and Durango Arts Center. The documentary will largely focus on immigration, Wilson said. It will feature the story of Mexican national Rosa Sabido, who is approaching her one-year anniversary of living in sanctuary at the Mancos Methodist Church after her one-year stay of removal application was denied by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. For the sculpture part of the project, Wilson said the Creative District will hold a competition for local artists who want to create something to commemorate the Western Excelsior plant fire last May, which resulted in the loss of almost 100 jobs. The sculpture will incorporate scrap metal the district saved from the destroyed building. Along with the grant, the Creative District will gain access to meetings with a learning community made up of other grantees and experts in various fields throughout its first granted year. Redline announced the 2018 grant recipients at its annual gala on April 19th. A total of about $480,000 was awarded to the selected projects. Mancos was one of 2 creative districts to receive the award, along with Carbondale Arts, which will use the money to build a sculpture for its Latino Folk Art Garden. This was the second grant cycle for the Arts and Society program since it started in 2016, and the first time Mancos was awarded a grant. In addition to Colorado Creative Industries, the program is funded by the Bonfils Stanton Foundation and the Hemera Foundation.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of April 15th through the 22nd. Sheriff's Office got report of a pickup with a pop-up camper not tied down was a hazard to motorists. Sheriff attended the town board meeting. Found on McLeod Point a strawberry roan gelding. No one had reported horse as missing at this time. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
And today's High Canyon Country Happenings. April 26th, a subsoil plowing workshop will be held free of charge and no reservations at Fozzie's Farm and co-hosted by the High Desert Conservation District. It runs from 9 a.m. to 11:30, located at 19769 Road W in Lewis, Colorado. For more information or to get directions, call them at 970-565-1664. April 28th, there's a meet and greet for David Harrington, one of the Dolores County Sheriff's candidates, hosted by David Harrington for Dolores County Sheriff and the Dove Creek Sinclair. Come out and join them for hamburgers and hot dogs while supplies last. Stop in to learn more about David Harrington and his vision for the Dolores County Sheriff's Office. That'll be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Dove Creek Sinclair. And if you are into quilts, and we know who you are, April 27th and 28th is the Spring in Western Colorado Quilt and Art Show, hosted by Basket Case Quilt Guild from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Garden Center in Delta, Colorado. For more details, visit their Facebook page, which is linked up with all of our happenings posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us by email dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.